I'm muted. I'm gonna turn it up and it's already recording. So you are ready to go whenever you're not sitting down. Look. Sitting in the low chair. I am.
City of Depoe Bay Park and Recreation Committee, January 8th, 2025. Meeting is starting. Welcome, everybody. And may we have a roll.
Okay, Commissioner Lauer.
Here.
Commissioner Fair.
Here.
Commissioner Monday.
Here.
Commissioner Shaw. Here. Chair Vincent.
Here.
Commissioner Kaplan.
Here.
And Commissioner Miles. Sorry. Miles. We got, right. We also have President Dave Martin from the maintenance group, with Depoe, and you'll understand why he's here. And then Paul Carver, the public supervisor, and me, the city administrator report.
Excellent.
Video on the record.
And we have the mayor for our audience. Thank you so much. She'll be taking notes and quizzing us at the end.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, reading emails, that's rude.
That's all right. We're actually talking back in that to you. So perfect.
I'm gonna turn them off.
Okay, would someone like to make approval of the minutes? Is everybody read?
I really meant to send those out yesterday, but,
Would someone like to take a few minutes to read over the minutes to make sure there's no problem?
Did y'all, they weren't very long.
No.
Once everybody's read, I'll move that they're approved.
Let us know when you're finished reading or put your hand up so we have an idea.
There we go, everybody's ready.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there, all in favor? Opposed? Dave? Thank you.
Just to clarify for Gina, because she might not have gotten that, is Loretta Miles motion to approve the minutes and Kenny Lauer seconded.
Thank you.
And Kim Wilbur, approval. Recorded. Moving on. This is a biggie. Unfinished crab feed. Kim?
The reason I put it back on here, is because I got that messaging from Zoe, which was the reason that might be some concern about whether there is time to do that this year. So you guys really need to talk it out and decide if this is what you wanna do and what you wanna participate in, because Zoe can't do it alone, Kathy can't do it alone. So, anyway, Zoe, do you
Yeah,
have?
if you wanna take it away, Zoe?
Yeah, I was just getting a little, I feel like from now until April is gonna go by very fast. I've started to try and reach out to different people about like locking in rates and locking in, getting quotes on things. And I was finding that it's taking people a lot of time to get back to me on these things. And that's kind of daunting knowing that the crab feed is so close if we were to go ahead with it for this year. One thing that was the main concern was the crab prices right now. I contacted Ocean Beauty Seafood and Pacific Seafood, and both of my contacts were not willing to give me a quote right now just because of how astronomical the prices are and how much they've been fluctuating. And, if we're gonna be able to do this, first we have to even go to the council and we have to submit, an accurate budget of what this is gonna cost us. And at the moment, we're not even able to do that because we can't get an accurate, price on the crab.
I just wanted to mention real quickly, we have never been able to get a price on crab until about March.
Yeah,
And so it's just a wag, and so that would be my suggestion going forward, is just that we ask for around a figure of $15,000 that we'll pay back from the city as a budget, and I've got past figures of what we've spent, and the prices have been really high and prices have been really low, but an average price of $25 per person for a crab meal has always garnered extra income.
Is that for a full or half? That's for.
That's a full dinner, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. We could, I'll connect with you and get some of that info
Yeah,
about maybe we can get like a median price.
Yeah.
I am just worried that, I think that especially with one meeting a month right now, I think that if we were gonna do the crab feed this year, we'd have to have more frequent meetings about it, specifically for it, because I just feel like there's only so much we can get to in one meeting, and then to wait a whole nother month, like a lot happens in that month that we need to have like things rolling on. Like getting a schedule, like coordinating the volunteers, that kind of stuff, so.
So Zoe, we used to meet at the community center every 2 weeks, starting around the 1st of February. And that's something we can set up again, is that way we would have our volunteers joining us at the community center. And, you know, we would have a separate, like any, a mini committee. That you and I and maybe another person, coordinating all of that. So I'm willing to step up and help with all of that because that really helps to have all the other volunteers that we've
Yeah.
contacted in on the whole process. We'll have together our information and how it's all gonna work, and then they come in and support us.
Yeah, I've talked to some people privately about the situation, and it's gonna be tough this year. It's a very short amount of time, not that we can't do it, but it means everybody has to be on board, everybody has to be there. I know it's a Saturday, and it's a very short time. I know one thing about I will say about the past person who was in charge, we had constant meetings. We had meeting after meeting after meeting, and I'm feeling a little pressure, and I'm not her, because it's gonna be here before you know it. And my thoughts, and I'm gonna throw it back out to y'all, is if you're gonna wait till next year, we can. If you still think you can pull it off and you wanna push that hard for this, then let me know. Because right now I'm on the fence. I was really on board, pushing with council, I talked to them, and I stipulated, if you look back, if we can get all the volunteers we need, all this other stuff. I know you say you're very positive, as are you to a point, but even that day where we had so much planning, people didn't show, and it worked out. But it was a lot of work.
Yeah, Zoe said she had 32. So maybe one of those things you can do is try to get everybody together in a meeting soon before the council meeting. And just take a temperature of what people are willing to do. Cause I don't want you to do it all yourself, nor do I want Kathy to do it all herself. So if it's gonna happen, everybody needs to help in some way. Doesn't mean a lot, and maybe the only help you can do is volunteer that day. But this whole group should actually participate in some way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't have the council support to do it.
I agree.
And I don't blame them either for not, you know,
Kenny, what are you saying?
she has a question.
Oh, I didn't see you.
Because she's in a low chair.
I'm the low rider today. I want to remind everybody of what Robert brought up when we first started talking about this, that I think is ultimately important, and that's that if we're gonna do this, we need to do it right. Otherwise, we walk away embarrassed and we'll lose the community's support. So that's one piece. The other thing that I want to mention is when I've worked on projects like this before, we've had like lots of mini work sessions where people broke up into individual groups and whatnot, but it sounds like maybe from what Kathy's saying that she has some information that from past years that we can take a look at and draw conclusions from.
Right.
And so what I would suggest is that maybe you and I and anybody else who's interested set up a time that we could meet with Kathy and she could present us with the stuff, and then we talk about the reality, what the realistic situation. And regarding the price of crab season opened early this year. Usually the crabbers get strung along week after week after week, but we got to open early this year. I think they're getting a really good price right now, which I think is amazing because my son is a commercial fisherman in Alaska. So I'm thrilled always when those guys who are out there risking their lives get some sort of fair payment for the work that they're doing. But when we're looking at the averages that you can provide us with over the past years, we definitely need to look at where that price is. Because last year, I don't think for the last 2 or 3 years, I don't think crab season had even actually opened by this time. I think there was 1 year it opened on New Year's Eve, I think. So the crabbers are a little bit ahead of the game. We've got what I'm saying is we've got a better idea of what the price is today than we might have had last year or the year before because they were just barely out in the water.
We didn't have the crab feed last year, did we?
No,
No.
I know that I was involved with the year before
Right.
that. So, one question I had, and it may be irrelevant, that would make it kind of a little bit, are we gonna get the crab feed or are we gonna clean it?
I think we had decided we would get it clean.
But that's gonna drive up the cost.
Is that what
Yes,
what we
yeah,
had done in the
That would be
past?
right for that, and we have, my husband and here know how to do it.
Mhm.
We did four.
What did they done in the past was the
It's always been, frozen whole crabs.
frozen whole.
And then we had a sink at one time that we set up there and hoses, and we, then we had our crab cookers all lined up.
The sink is still around.
Is it? Oh, okay, and, it just takes zip and they're clean,
Mhm.
and you throw them in the pot and heat them up, so it's
Gotcha.
really, not, you need volunteers to do that.
It takes a lot of manpower.
yeah,
Yeah, it does.
there's a lot of people doing
I have a comment.
it.
Just as a piece of history, back in the olden days, when I was a young woman living in Depoe Bay, the crab feed consisted of newspaper spread out on the tables, and you got your side, and you got your roll or whatever, and you got your crab and an empty beer bottle, and it was great fun, let me tell you, everybody cleaned their own crab and had a blast. Now, at that point, it was mostly a community event, but that was a lot of fun.
I don't wanna play in the crowd.
Yeah, I can't imagine the public playing that game.
I've done it, I don't like doing it.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there as a little piece of history.
And I have a feeling people won't, that's cute, but I have a feeling people won't want to.
Yeah, I think the best way to go forward is just to be able to get all the info that you have
Yeah.
on
Subcommittee.
a whole
That's
schedule
spreadsheet,
of from a week before to the day of the event, what gets done on every single day, what volunteers we're gonna need for what things.
Yeah.
And just get an actual timeline, cause
Sure.
I'm not even really familiar, I don't think I ever attended the crab feed when it was going on, cause I always work. So
Oh,
every
that's
time that
right.
I'm here, I'm over
I
working.
did, not this, obviously, not the year before, and had a freaking blast.
We did, didn't we?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
When the chamber was effective or semi-effective and running it, in the records and stuff that you
I think
guys
I
received.
actually have records on the crab feed.
You do or you don't?
I do.
Okay, cause that would definitely be worth looking at, because if even that little piece was done right, there, what you're asking for should be there. There should be, this is the day that we, ordered this, and this is the day that we secured that, and this is, and all that stuff should be in a record.
Would it be
if
helpful
they
if I
deliver.
dug that out for you, or do you got it all in your head?
I've got it in my little orange folder.
She probably has all, she's
Awesome.
done crab feed for a long time, so she
Yeah.
probably has all that information. And I sent a draft budget for them to fill out so that we could have a draft, and it can only be a draft, but
Yeah.
like, the mayor said, I think I put 20,000 in there, didn't I? But 15,000, whatever you guys think, you'll know,
Yeah.
you know more than anybody, so I think a lot of this is taking a leap from Kathy.
Yeah.
But we need to step up and help
And we need to start now.
her.
So I would propose that this meeting where we try and look at whether or not this is even feasible, I would suggest that happen within the next couple of weeks, like before the end of this month, if we
Probably
could.
sooner. We can
Probably
look
next-
at, we can look at the community, you gonna go get the calendar?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll look at the community hall, and then we'll give you a date and time, and then you holler at your folks and, let them know, it's important for them to show up,
Yeah,
Yeah, let the
because,
rest of us know as
and
well.
we'll do a sign-in sheet, and we'll try to do it before the council meeting on the 21st. So you guys can get through
That'd be
there,
great.
and, cause I had everything ready, but then we put the brakes on things, so we're pretty much ready, and I'm happy to have it back to there. So Robert set the stage during that one time we talked, and, you were there and stuff like that, so. A lot of the concerns that
There's
council
one
would have is how much we,
exactly.
and
course.
we'll do what we normally do, and of course, I'm going to help, because I love the crowd, we had so much fun, and I wanna be directing people to tables, Kathy. I'm volunteering to do that.
Oh, okay.
Cause I had so much fun. But limited to making sure that they get the volunteers coming in
So,
versus the city running it.
you know, I've got the flyer.
Probably before the 21st if we can.
Hmm?
Before the council meeting on the 21st, unless you wanna wait until February to go to the council and get the blessing.
No, we gotta do that soon, on the 21st. But, we've gotta get notices out for all the volunteers.
She's got all that, she'll take care of that.
Yeah,
I was looking at the 22nd.
That's after council meeting.
I know, but then we would know for sure if we had the money.
True.
And we're gonna do it.
They're gonna ask for confirmation that we have the volunteers.
Well, I think the Parks Commission needs to vote on whether we should go forward, right? Whether we have the support.
Well, if we vote on that, it seems to me there's still too many unanswered questions to say go forward or not go forward, because until we know the pre-meeting, if we have that on the 20th before the council meeting, we have an idea what's going on. Because right now, I'm not comfortable.
my feeling is, I think we should go forward, but not necessarily for shooting for this March, or this
Agreed.
April.
Right.
I think we should go forward in reclaiming the event and getting everything locked down and getting everything, getting the approval of the council, starting to contact like the volunteers, coordinate things. But I just don't think that planning it for this year is, I'm not comfortable having the event this soon. I think that we should shoot for getting everything, like, I feel like we're putting ourselves in like a really fast time crunch for something that we should really take our time with. And so I think that if, we don't need to get council approval right now to do it next year. We can keep moving forward and then get approval for the next year. If that makes
Why
sense.
would you move forward if you know you don't have the approval or the money?
Or get approval, but not to hold the event this year. Get approval for the event next year.
We get the approval to take over the event.
Yeah,
I think she had a wonderful, suggestion though. Moving forward or not, but we want to have this thing come off perfect.
Right.
We don't want it to, well, it wasn't bad, I don't want that.
We don't want another one of those events in this town, we've had too many over the last few years.
So I think that's really smart on that
Mhm.
idea. When we go into this, we're gonna go in strong, smiles on our face, and everybody's gonna be happy.
But if we hold off until, if we, like Zoe said, at this point, if we just get the approval from city council to take over, then we could actually work on our budget and submit that for the next fiscal year's budget instead of fishing for money this year. So that's another perhaps positive.
Well, if we're not gonna do the crab feed, then we're taking the salmon bake off as well,
Well, we never had salmon bake on.
huh?
We never had the salmon bake on for this year. Because it was just way too much work.
yeah.
So we're not doing any events this year then?
We don't know yet. The
It's
salmon bake
never-
wasn't
yeah.
on the table.
Yeah, we never had approved salmon bake. We wanted to do
Right,
have the crab feed
Right.
event first and then go forward with salmon.
But if we started now, we could do a salmon bake in September, that's enough time.
That's a lot of work. It's
It's a lot of work,
it's a
but it's
big
gonna be a
event.
lot of work no matter when we do it, if we're gonna do it.
and it would be good to start planning for that now,
This is when we ought to be planning for it.
yeah, you know, we could,
Well, let's discuss it. What do you guys feel about the salmon bake?
I think we need to get like feedback from the community on that, because that's gonna take a lot more.
That's a lot more volunteers, a lot more people. I mean, you got experience with that.
My concern is if we say we're gonna do the salmon bake, they're gonna go, but you haven't even done the crab feed yet.
Even though the movies at the Queen's Center, so
Mhm.
first record scratch bad.
Yeah,
Okay?
Second.
I mean, I initiated that a while back, like Loretta said. I think if we're gonna do it, people love our National Night Out. They look forward to that. That we have nailed. So this next thing that we do, I want them to look, like you said, look forward to it. Like, these guys are doing such and such. I want it to be a biggie.
You know, we can come up with some reason why we're not doing it. I mean, that sounds reasonable, you know what I mean, but I don't wanna lose the idea of the
Well, here's the
crab
thing.
feed.
We can, if you really wanna push forward to it, whatever happens, happens. but we need to make sure we have enough people, which we want to, we have a meeting.
Mhm.
I just think, like Zoe said, it's not a lot of time.
Well, I agree, but that's just me.
But it's not just you.
Because I was all gun ho when we first known them, because I had so damn much fun.
Right,
A couple of years ago doing it.
yeah, that's when we all did together.
And I'm thinking maybe I can have another fun day like I did before, but I didn't have to go through all the work of preparation.
Right.
I was just a volunteer guy
Right.
taking crabs.
And I will say, as much as there's some negative stuff about the chamber, because I was on it at that time, we had meetings, I was telling Zoe beforehand, 3 or 4 times a week to get, from far out to get it, because it was a huge thing. And then, thank goodness the mayor said, she stepped in at the very end and said, I think we need X amount more as opposed to this amount of crab, and the good thing you did. Things are gonna happen regardless, but we did have a lot of people helping that day, I think that Clay and his wife helped out everybody, and again, we're just throwing it out there right now, and, what are your thoughts, Ellie, on the overall?
Overall, I think that we should start small and then go big. So if we manage to pull, a session of movies at the community center, at some point, yes, we can think about bigger things like the craft feed, like the salmon bake, but otherwise we should not commit to that. Anyway.
Todd? Well, here's the thing, before you even answer, we all have to, if we're gonna do it, then we all have to not just show up the day of, we have to be a part of the entire time.
Absolutely.
It's a commitment of time, guys. Thoughts?
I shouldn't say, I mean, I would be help where I could, but I'm just saying, I'm not sure how if we're gonna be able to pull it off that quick or not. If we're gonna have the people
There's a perfect person to ask that question, right? Whether it can be pulled off in 3 months.
Well, it's not a question of, not.
It is, you are questioning whether you guys can pull it
No,
off.
we're questioning we can pull it, we're not saying the mayor can't pull it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We're
The
questioning
mayor-
ourselves, like how much time do you have personally to give?
Well, how much time does she need? What do you need?
Basically, once the planning's all done, a meeting a week would be fine. And it would not have to be the entire Parks Commission. It could just be 2 or 3 key people that we've got a timeline, this gets done on this date, this done on this date, this done on this date, and then we come to the day before the event and make it happen. And, I know
And you're
there's.
gonna have, hopefully,
That's a lot of
some of these
variables.
32 people
Mhm.
that will step up and take on some of the burden of paying for these things that you guys won't even have to worry about doing.
Again, too many unanswered questions, we need to get a group of people
What
together.
unanswered questions?
It all sounds good, it all sounds great to do.
What unanswered questions? I'm asking
Who can
because
commit,
if you have the hesitation, then we got somebody here that can help.
who can,
clarify.
no, it has to do with the mayor. Who can commit, because if we're saying we're not gonna make it a burden for you all, then it might end up being a burden for y'all. If a lot
Well,
of us,
we'll still have to do what we have to do,
I
and I
understand.
will participate because I wanna do it,
Right.
but,
how many of us can commit right now that we're gonna give it, whether it's 1 meeting a week or however much it takes? Because I'm just listening to people hearing,
I don't think 1 meeting a week is
No.
necessary.
At the end,
and you've got the people lined up for Aqua, we have, everything's already lined up as far as we're ready to go ask these people?
So what's the date we're planning to do this exactly?
The 12th of April, wasn't it?
Third, is it the third
Yes.
Saturday?
April
Third.
17th.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the
Yeah.
third
Well,
Saturday.
2 months, that's a little over 2 months.
19th.
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 Or 9, I suppose.
So I got 3 months.
I thought it was on-
2.5 months, almost 3 months to plan the crab feed, which if it's just the crab feed, frankly, that didn't seem any more complicated to do than the National Night Out when I was coordinating fire, Coast Guard, who am I missing, police, all of the things. Crab feed is the crab and the food.
Yeah.
And promotion.
It's a-
And promotion,
promotion.
right.
Yeah.
So, and somebody's gotta be there to, hopefully we can afford to get it clean, cause I don't wanna clean it, but.
There's a lot of people that enjoy doing that.
Oh, there is, if she has the volunteers,
How many volunteers have participated in the crab feed
You know,
in the past when it was successful? Let's,
We need 5 people in the kitchen. We need, probably about 5 people, fellas out cooking and cleaning.
Yeah, how
We
many
need
you have?
parking.
Yeah, we have quite a few.
Parking folks, we need
At least 20.
three, parking. And then during the crab feed, we need people inside cleaning up the
Right.
mess. And so you need 3, 4, and in the past, we've had Neighbors for Kids helping. We've had, they have provided, desserts and all of that type of thing. And so really, it's not that big. If you've got 30 people, we're covered.
There are also programs within the public school system that, and I have no idea if this is a unilateral requirement or if it just pertains to certain schools or whether or not Lincoln County schools are involved in that or not. I know nothing of that. But there are programs where, say for instance, high schoolers have to give X amount of time to community service.
Yeah.
And back when I was a kid here, we all got excused from school to work on the crab feed, or we didn't have a real crab feed then, but the salmon bake and fleet of flowers. We got excused from school to come and volunteer for those things. It was a blast.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that's a resource we can tap into too.
Absolutely.
But having teenagers around doing stuff like that is fun.
They love it. So it's really not that onerous. Once you get you've already worked on the food. You said you've got things donated already?
Yeah, I was able to get, the bread's gonna be donated, coleslaw, lemons I can get donated.
See, that's the food.
Yeah,
It's done. All we need is a price on crab and Pacific Seafoods or whoever. And we've got 30 volunteers. We just need to go to City Hall and I would say $15,000 should cover it. Cover the whole entire thing.
And how many meals would we be able to serve
That's
for
up to
15,000? 500.
So we just
We
need
serve 500 that year?
absolutely,
Crap.
absolutely.
It was a lot.
And we used
Wow.
to do it 2 days in a row.
Oh, let's not do that for
No,
our
no.
Let's not do that.
No. But we still, I'm sending, and the biggest thing that is a huge moneymaker is you have 2-go meals. And that is such a big profit maker, and the people aren't sitting there making a mess.
There were a lot of people taking
That
that.
would love to just come in and that's go take it and sit on the seawall and have their crab meals, so it's,
So how much is it a plate?
pardon,
How much a plate?
$25 has
For a
been
full-
in the past.
Yeah, can we maybe streamline too? We talked about this 2 years ago. Instead of doing half, just do the whole.
Yeah.
Just, you get your whole crab, you get your sides, there's your $25.
Yeah.
But the half made it kind of interesting. You made it a lot messier too.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a big help too.
I've not been to it, so the crab are clean, but they're not broken apart.
No,
That's your job.
no.
You
They
get your
take the
mallet.
back off and clean all the guts out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you-
Yeah, it's fun, I have some pictures
Yeah,
of
so
people
do I.
sitting there, they have a blast, people just. Now, I know some people who don't like to work that hard to eat their food,
That'd be
so
me.
like my ex, he would never attend like that, but that didn't stop, and Yahoo just had theirs. So. And it was full, according to the pictures.
So all this aside, are we gonna do something before council to talk to the meetings, like a subcommittee, talk to some, make sure we get some actual volunteers? Numbers are great, but it'd be great to actually meet them beforehand.
So
Yeah.
the meeting's on the 21st, so we
Right.
can either do it the 20th or the 21st, but what are you working?
let me see. Back here.
So you pay 15,000 for the crab?
Well,
First.
that's like
No,
25
that's
from
everything,
For everything?
everything.
But she's already getting a bunch of the food donated.
Yeah.
So if you charge $25
Yeah.
and sell 500 of them,
Yeah,
that's only $12.50? $12,500?
Yeah.
okay.
You're sure?
So it's a losing thing.
How is it losing?
It's because you
Cause you gotta pay back the 15,000, so.
Yeah,
if
so
it's
you're
under-
I don't think it would even be 15,000 since then.
So I don't even know where to pay it
It's
back.
just a round figure, because, you know, we've got,
Okay, that's-
most
I'm
of
saying,
them
that was a
donated.
gift.
we've got,
But you could even just ask for 10 and, since you've got stuff donated, go to the tribe to get them to be a sponsor in some way. There's ways, remember, one of the things we should talk to the volunteers about is the sponsors. Somebody can go sponsor. There would be people who want to sponsor this thing. And I started working on the idea for the levels of what that might look like. You know, where you usually have the gold, silver, or you can have it, and then, you know, the top one gets, you know, name and recognition, plus maybe a banner at the park, and, you know, so there's options for that, and you will have people who want to sponsor this.
So
Name recognition.
you said you had how many volunteers?
I had 30 people that had like responded, but that's the thing is, if we have a meeting, we'll be able to get a better an accurate, you know, who's actually going to show up. Cause a lot of people say, yeah, I'd love to help, but then they're not actually gonna show up,
And
so.
then, or they look at their calendar
Yeah.
and go, oh, I can't.
Yeah, I'm busy that day.
Yeah.
Or she might get more people who didn't see the first message and they'll say, hey, you know.
so are you available next Tuesday, the 14th?
Mhm.
Tuesday night, because I think that's available at the community center.
Is it?
Yeah. I think,
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been interesting time to talk about.
And I bet a lot of the people that helped the year I was there will probably, probably get some of their names from Melissa.
Mhm.
Like Sandy, the one that I worked with inside, she would probably come back.
Mhm.
That might even be one of the people on your list.
Yeah, that's true.
And there were also people who last time would have volunteered and then chose not to because of the leadership.
Right.
And I was one of those people. I went to a volunteer meeting and as soon as I saw who was in charge, I just went, no, I can't do that again. So
that's exactly right, Loretta.
Mhm.
yeah, so,
And the city has already
Yes.
put a budget together last night for advertising on
Yes.
Coin TV.
KTU. Is that
KTU, I don't know.
I don't either. I know it's KTU. We're gonna
That's
have,
not
Channel 2.
we're gonna have the first campaign in March. Perfect time to advertise.
and did we approach them as in-kind sponsorship for part of that, for like trade for part of whatever they
No,
want?
this is for promotion and marketing for tourism. It's-
Okay, so it completely
We'll
different thing.
include the crowd feeder
Mhm.
because it's an event if we do it, but it's not like that. It's actually half off what they normally charge for this campaign.
Awesome.
So-
You know, that's a statewide channel too.
Yeah,
Right.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And last question for me is, now that we're talking about this and simplifying things, I'm getting more excited about it. If we could have that meeting, when we meet more people, that would be great. What about, we had talked one time about alcohol, is anybody still thinking about that, or?
Did you say that,
We
at,
could do
Chloe,
a beer
you
garden,
guys were
yeah.
interested
Oh,
in
that
doing
would
a
be
beer
fabulous.
garden?
Would that be
That would
Yeah.
bring more
For
people
you
out.
guys, or through somebody else?
It would be through our.
I think you have people man it though, too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was so much fun at the
Yeah.
50th. We're gonna do that.
Okay.
They set it all up and have their own servers with their licenses and all that. Awesome.
And then what do we get out of it as far as, if you charge $5, what does the parks or city get?
Well, what you could do is you could say we want a particular portion of a percent of whatever they're gonna charge. I don't know what she charged.
Look at
We have
dollars.
given
Is that legal with alcohol?
Say again?
We've never done that.
Oh, you
No,
never
we don't
charge?
know.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't see any reason to.
No.
The only
Just
thing I
asking.
could say is if it got big enough on a future date, you also could consider charging like a rental,
Right,
which, you know, says that, okay, you can be here and we'll charge you $100, you know?
Yeah,
Something like
We need
that.
to support our local businesses,
Right.
and I don't think that's fair to have to.
Not at least for the first one.
No.
and I'll get more information
yeah,
about
just
that.
curious.
So if we made on the 14th,
So,
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
so Zoe, how are you? You're the
Daytime
one
is best
who
for,
initiated
meetings.
the idea of maybe not this year
Mhm.
at this meeting, and now we're having this conversation. Robert says he's feeling more enthusiastic. Are you also, or are you still really on the fence?
I'm a bit more hesitant, but I'm willing to do what, the commission wants. I just don't want to, I won't be able to take the lead in a lot of the stuff.
She can't do it all, she's
Yeah,
going to do it all.
I can send out messages for the volunteers, I can do the promotion, but like I'm not gonna be able to lead a lot of the stuff. And
No. Exactly.
this far out, I'll probably be able to get the time off for the event, but we have spring break right before that, I'm gonna be really busy
Yeah.
with my work, so I don't wanna put too much on my plate
Right.
that I'm not gonna be able to accurately do. So I will do as much as I can, and I want it to
And
be a
that's what I heard in that
success.
message.
Right.
Yeah, like I want it to happen, I don't
Yeah.
think we should give up on the idea at all.
Absolutely not, and you're not in it alone. It's a community-wide event that people will step up and take charge. We had a lady that used to, she loved taking care of the sweatshirts and ordering those. And we've got, she would order aprons and all kinds of cool things. I don't know if we even wanna go there.
Oh, I would
I
love
did get a
sweatshirt.
quote on sweatshirt
I
and
would love a
t-shirts.
sweatshirt.
I just got it last night, I had reached out before when we
Oh,
were going
really?
for the
Okay.
budget, and I hadn't heard back until last night, so I did get
Oh, okay.
a quote on t-shirts and sweatshirts.
You saw that I put that as an option to sell
Yeah.
in the budget.
So I have that, and I'll pass that forward to add into the
And what
spreadsheet.
about ball caps?
I could get that too, I could get info on that as
People
well,
like ball caps.
yeah,
So that would be another moneymaker.
exactly, yeah.
But I didn't include anything in a budget, I was just doing food and.
Sounds like she just got that, so the.
Yeah, I can put it
we
into
in
the
budget and stuff.
spreadsheet,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll pass forward that
Okay.
info, and then I can also ask about hats and stuff too.
So we thinking noontime on the 14th?
Is that what time you want, or you want
No,
evening?
we'd have to do it in the evening.
Oh, good, evening would be much better for me.
Yeah.
Evening is in
Five.
what time?
6:00.
6?
6
Does
o'clock?
that work? Yeah, because people get home from work.
Right.
Well, you could always feed them, I'm just kidding.
I could feed them.
Crabs? No.
Spaghetti, she makes a wonderful spaghetti casserole. I can't eat it anymore, but she makes a wonderful one.
Okay,
I'm just teasing about that,
So
but.
Tuesday the 14th at
At
6
6.
o'clock.
Tuesday 14th, 6 p.m. for the initiation meeting, we'll meet some of the volunteers. And from that point on, we'll know exactly if we're gonna be,
Exactly.
Yeah,
And you'll-
no, because if nobody shows up, then it's like,
There you
well,
And then
you
you
know.
can put out on the Facebook that, well, the city was, the Parks and Recreation Commission was willing to consider taking this on, but at the meeting, there was no volunteers, so, no pressure.
right,
yeah.
So
Let's
how
not
are we
plan
gonna
for that
decide?
yet.
I'll send out an email like I did for the
That's
other meeting, so
perfect, yeah.
email to everybody,
Yeah.
and then I'll also make a
Your
post on
emails are
Facebook for
great.
people that
And
aren't,
we'll put it on our,
on
I'll
the
put it
email
on our
list.
city calendar, and, how about if we do I can do a volunteer flyer?
Yeah.
I'll do we'll post it at the post office and around.
Oh, cool, okay, sounds good.
So you
Something
need
crabby.
here?
that's 6
Something
days from
Friday,
now.
yeah.
At the community center.
Oh, at the community center.
That's it, 6 days from now, guys, just so you know. If anybody has any conflicts they know about right now, let us know, otherwise we will see you then.
You know what?
Can we drink that night? It's inauguration night.
Let's do it on the 15th.
No, that's the 14th.
And I'll make some tacos.
Is he starting?
The 20th is the
Right,
inauguration.
this is the
night.
14th,
And
next week.
Oh,
5
that's
o'clock
right.
Next
I'll make
Tuesday.
taco soup.
You
Oh,
can-
because we talked originally.
You can start early if you want.
Oh, the 21st is the.
Right, and we talked about.
Okay, you guys, so let's do it at 5, and I'm gonna make taco soup.
Okay, I'll be
Oh,
5:30.
It's
awesome.
gonna be tough for me.
Yeah, me
I can
too.
help with that.
5 is tough for me.
5:30?
5:30?
5:30, and I'll make taco soup, and we'll have taco soup and bread, and.
Nice. So I have a
I
question.
haven't made that in a long time, and that's like one of my favorite soups.
5:30?
I really like it.
5:30, Tuesday the 14th at the community center.
So
Taco
there
soup.
keeps being a reference to a memo,
Sorry?
that Zoe sent out or submitted to some, I haven't seen that, is that something I should have
So
seen?
here's what happened, I worked over the New Year's, and I sent a draft budget form that I've used before
Mhm.
to plan an event. I sent it to Kathy and Zoe, because Zoe had some quotes, and I said, figuring, let me know what you got, and let's fill it out, and we'll present it at the council meeting last night. Then Zoe expressed some concerns. I think she just wasn't feeling that maybe she had everybody that would be willing to help her. So she was feeling some pressure, as she just indicated. And all she did was just say, I'm feeling some pressure, you know?
And I said, I wanna do the event, I
Yeah,
wanna
and you know-
maybe push it till next year, but I don't wanna give up on it, but
Right,
I
so-
just wanna talk to the
All she did was
commission
send me an
first.
email, and so it's not a memo, it was just an email.
Okay, I thought maybe I missed something.
No,
that
I worked
should have
on the
been noted.
memo for the present to the meeting at the council, but when we had that email and had that discussion, we said, okay, everybody needs to really make sure they're talking about it.
You know, I'm so glad that you reached out and said that you're getting a little bit overwhelmed. Because that actually, puts the group, more tightly together.
We have to make a
Instead
commitment,
of
all of
feeling-
us.
If that makes any sense.
And if there's enough people helping, the burden is really easily spread out.
Mhm.
And it really, it's not that much.
I
of a
didn't think it was
burden.
that, from what I saw now, they did a bunch, you guys did a bunch of things, you did the
Chowder
Chowder
contest and all those
and
extra
all that
things.
stuff,
Yeah.
but, you know, which was well received, and maybe that's a 2026
Exactly,
item,
we
you
Right.
know,
have those
but-
things in
But
next
just
year.
stay with the basics.
Yeah, I got you.
Crab feed,
Alright.
welcome back.
So let's, plan on next week, we'll get together on the 14th at 5:30. And let's, now move on to the brick program.
So before we move on, while we're still talking about events, I'd like to ask, where are we standing, on the matter of the films, the movies that the Queen's.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we weren't even talking about that.
It's not on here, let's do it at the end, under,
I mean, we're talking about events, we talked about the song breakthrough, so.
yeah, let's put it at
Well,
the
I
end.
can,
Or
do-
you
I
guys,
can do
you
that
can
in
change
seconds.
the agenda and talk about anything you want.
Go ahead, Loretta.
So at the last meeting, I let everyone know that, the guy who I need to communicate with and have help install the equipment, including your donated screen, down at the community hall, that he's, out of the state until March. So when he gets back, as soon as he gets back and I can get a commitment from him to come over here and meet, then he and I and the equipment that I'm gonna donate, plus, city guys who are gonna install the screens, so we're all on the same page, we'll get together at that point. So that's really the only
Yeah,
update.
so this actually leads to why these
We're
guys are here.
Yeah,
Dave is our, like I said, he's our nose maintenance worker, and he's off,
somebody
so did
new
Paul.
from looking in from the outside, basically.
Yeah. This is about the community hall now.
Yep.
Yeah, so, that was kind of one of my pet projects as far as keeping it clean and keeping it up going and stuff like that. But I noticed while I was in there that one of the things that might be a handy idea is, right now we rent it out for all kinds of events. I can't even tell how many different events you guys use for it, but what would be a great idea is if we, that big space above the kitchen, above the kitchen
Block is
window.
that?
Mhm.
It'd be nice if we thought about maybe putting a big screen TV up there and being able to rent that out, hosting different types of events, like say NFL parties, fight parties for the UFC, different kinds of events like that. I know there's different groups that like, they get together and watch different shows and stuff. We were kind of joking about it earlier, like the singing shows and stuff. There's all kinds of events that might
They
be
did, yeah.
able to rent that out for, it'd be another revenue stream for, all kinds of events, like the crab feed and different things that we could use for parties and stuff.
And maybe
Parks
there's
could
a
do like a
way,
Super Bowl party
Yeah.
or something like that, and
we
sell
talked
hot
about
dogs
for
or-
community events.
No, it's a great idea. We talked about it a long time ago, instead of doing the screen in the back window, which was all this configuration or whatever, just to get a big TV like this or bigger.
Bigger.
To be right there.
So the screen donated could, serve that purpose, or
I'm sorry?
the screen I donated?
No,
well, we're just talking about options.
Options, so
that would have to be
We
directly up to
know-
cable.
that screen that you donated, you can't return it now, right? You're past the return.
No, yeah, but,
So I would wanna talk to you about if we don't end up using it, what do you wanna do with it?
so we want to use that for the movies, or?
Well, what you could do is you could use the TV, if there was a way we could stream digitally and you wouldn't need the screen.
Why could you use a TV if we're gonna have a projector up there? It's
Well,
much
we
better.
won't need the projector,
won't
we're
need a
gonna use the
projector
TV,
either.
all we need is a
But if we're
Blu-ray
doing
player.
something in the
Yeah.
park,
That's an extra expense.
Right,
for
if
the
you do
city.
something in the
on
park,
those.
you're right, if you do something in the park, we would need a screen.
That's why I put you, not
But we
to set
would
the
need an
projector
outdoor
and screen in the community center. It's much better in terms of output for visual output. It's gonna be bigger than a TV. It's gonna be not be an extra expense for the city. Why would you put a TV there?
This is what they're proposing, you
I
guys can
think
have
maybe
that
they're
conversation.
two separate things. I
I
like
do
the
too.
idea of a large screen TV for things like community events that we could stream from,
You can do
you
that
know.
with a projector.
But that, I think that that's completely, again, though, I've been a professional film exhibitor for 43 years now. So putting something on a Blu-ray on a television is completely against my nature. A movie deserves a screen.
But you may not be owning your
Exactly.
theater, so if you want to do that, then you're gonna have to come up with a different alternative.
Well, but the only
But you
part of,
said the person who was going to buy the place is absolutely laughed at the idea of
well,
it.
she chuckled, but,
So,
but,
that's actually in the minutes, because
but it
he asked
doesn't
me
really,
that.
that, I think is irrelevant, because if you are projecting a movie on a screen to the public, you still have to pay the licensing.
Right, so we just would get it from them directly, that wasn't the issue. The issue was, it was going to be easy if we had you still in that role, you would pay a lot.
It being what?
The movies.
The bookings of the movies? Well, the movies still would have to be booked if they're on television.
Let's you and me fight about this one later, and
We're
let's
not
just
fighting,
go
I'm just
without
trying to
that discussion,
understand.
Because what I'm saying is, somebody would have had the book, but you would have been handling it for us. Now, and if we do the movies now, and we have to go digitally, because we don't have an access to the same, we'll have to do the booking, I will have to do the booking. That's the difference. You were gonna do it because you had the
Not
connections.
necessarily, but we'll talk later.
Because you have the
Other
connections,
questions?
so.
Suzanne,
But we're talking just about the idea of the screen, and it's not something you have to decide tonight.
Right.
It's just something that they wanna
We
share with
just
you.
thought it would be a great
I
idea.
think it is a good idea.
And Suzanne.
I like the idea, I also like the idea of these screen
Suzanne?
movies.
Yeah, this is two different things, but we figured that maybe for.
So I have a question. If I wanted to go to a Super Bowl party, like right now, how far would I have to go to find a place like what?
Oh, good question.
I think they do something with the
You know, a
casino, don't
casino,
they?
yeah, a casino, some type of, place that hosts those kinds of big
Or a
events.
bar.
I'll be honest with
Right.
you, I haven't really looked into that kind of detail of it. I saw a big space in the community hall that's rented out, which I thought, hey, this might be a nice little feature for this town, you know?
If
I would
everybody
imagine
else knows
there's-
Depot Bay, there's nowhere in Depot Bay, is there?
No.
No,
No.
not that I know of. I mean, I've talked to a couple of people, local,
Is that big screens?
business owners and stuff.
We have big,
They've got smaller screens.
They have big screens.
but Super Bowl's
120?
always dead for us. It's weird.
Is it?
People don't go to Arbor
If you make it a big deal, though.
Yeah, if we pushed it, but we push it, it's never a big day.
The other thing is the council has had conversations and kind of like talking about having more events for the community
Mhm.
as far as like adult enrichment events. So, you know, one of the things, I think it was Paul who said, you know, like maybe there's a senior citizen Sunday morning group that
Sit
needs to
these
do
days.
exercise, you know, where they have a video and they do the mats. And
Right.
so there's opportunity, there's also opportunities for shooting videos on treating
Or like
people how to do
Bob
something.
Ross paint night in the
Yeah,
community.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of things, you know, like I know there's a lot of online courses that I've taken that you can stream on how to do things, you know, everything's online now, I swear to God, so.
I don't know what the logistics for everything would entail, but you guys have also talked about screens and projectors, and I know me personally, in Montana, where I used to live, they had this thing where they would, you know, a lot of people miss the old drive-in type of situation, and they had a park out there that they would put a projection up, and they would have people
One
come
of the
out and
things
do
we've been
like,
talking
kind
about.
of sit and watch that.
It's a
So maybe that's.
much better solution than the chip television. It doesn't make sense to have a screen there. It's just redundant and more expenses and it's not as good.
Yeah, I think both is a good idea.
I'm not sure
Me personally, I mean,
information about returning condemnation.
how big is this TV? How big is this TV approximately?
Oh gosh, I don't know. You guys know?
You think, what do you think, 75?
No, 52.
I have an 80 at my house, and you could easily fit that or bigger at that. Because I think both is a good idea, especially if you're outside stuff, I think the screen is great. Inside stuff, people are used to it now. And it's much more simple, just to plug something in. But then we can keep going on this conversation for a long time, so for now, we'll table it and talk about the bricks.
I will actually have, because of the holidays, I haven't spoken to the
Okay.
fundraising folks yet, so I'll have more for you at the 21st.
Not a problem.
And my plan is to, hopefully we can take it to the council. It was funny, because last night during the meeting, somebody on the council, and I can't remember who it was, mentioned about having I talked about the park playground rehabilitation, and they mentioned having a path back to the nature trail. I thought,
You're like,
I thought that would work out great, so, I will get with the fundraising group folks and we'll get going on that. Cause I think I told you the local was, it was gonna be more expensive,
Right.
they didn't do the polymer,
the weather treatment.
yeah, all that, so
Yeah.
we would have to pay to do that. And it's more like they do one-offs rather than bulk orders, so, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to stay local with that, so.
Sure.
But I'll have more information from the fundraising and probably even an idea, they might even have a page set up for us that as soon as we get the final blessing to go ahead and do that, we can just kick it off and sell some bricks.
Sounds good, and now we're moving on to new strategic direction.
I think you guys, it wasn't to talk about tonight,
Okay.
but, I think that one of the important things you do is, and I might send it to everybody, is where do you wanna go for 2025? What do you wanna do? What do you wanna do? I mean, if the main focus is, the event, that's great. But looking at what the Parks and Recreation Commission does, it's also providing input to us, as far as what we should be addressing. Maybe we can try to do a cleanup day again, because there's a lot of areas that could use some extra attention, especially in the spring when all we have is 2 maintenance workers doing all the work, so. So that's one of the things to talk about, although it feels like spring today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted you, I'll send you the bottles, I just wanted you to think we should have a discussion.
Sure,
Because otherwise I don't have a lot of things to put on the agenda for you,
that's fine.
so.
Well, it sounds like for the next little while, we've got plenty for the agenda, just. do a
I
track
think
and
we're
kind
gonna
of
be
get
fine a little
Have some
bit,
debate.
so.
We can all keep it in the back of our minds,
But-
with other things.
Right, especially because we're going into budget season, and we already know we wanna put money in for the craft
Right.
fair, but what else, I'm gonna beef up the community events for the Pet Palooza, which will continue in the next
Yeah,
year.
that's right, yeah. Mhm.
But if there's anything else we need to do, we should be talking about what that looks like, so.
All right, just throw some ideas
That
out
was all
there.
that was.
Perfect. Anybody have any other comments or what have you?
I just wanted to thank everybody for helping out with the tree lighting ceremony.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh my gosh, that was
Really
fun.
a fun time. Those kids just had a blast.
And Brady and I agreed that the lights you strang on the tents, we're doing again next year.
Thank you.
They really liked them, so we thought it looked really nice.
Did you get the bill yet for that or no?
No.
Okay,
It's lost in the mail.
thank you.
I have a comment about that night. And I have really mixed feelings about what I'm about to say, so just preface it with that.
What night?
The tree lighting night. So the fire truck pulls up right in front of the event, and then it moves down just a hair. And that draws extra attention to the event. It also helps to shed some light on a otherwise pretty dark area. But I can't tell you how many people I ran into, local people who said, what's going on by the seawall last night? People thought there was an emergency. So I don't know I don't even, like I said, I see the pro of that. And I also see the con of having the fire truck right there blocking the view of people driving by. They can't see what is actually going on.
Well, how about they just stop and come over and see what's going on?
Well, they should, and if you did,
What we could also do is we could put together like a sign, A-frame sign to put out there temporarily and say.
See Santa Claus.
See Santa.
Yeah, Santa.
And the Grinch, we're gonna have the Grinch this
The
year.
Senate, Gresham had that problem, years ago, and what they did was, a friend of mine was on the park department committee there.
Yeah,
He
you
was
definitely,
fireman.
thank you.
What they did was,
Thanks, guys.
I think you
it's very nice to meet you. Listen, what they did was,
Thank you.
is they made the fire truck like a float. And they put instead of thinking the whole neighborhood thought, God, what's happening, whatever. They made it a float and it was easy. They put a Santa Claus, one of the guys volunteered to be a Santa Claus and had the red fire truck. It was really cool. Very, very, very little money, because everybody pitched in, because those guys, they love their trucks.
right,
And so they made the neatest thing.
that is a cool idea.
They'll do it, because I can see them being worried about getting too
Exactly,
much of the
emergency.
truck and having to go.
Yeah.
Right, that's the biggest
Exactly
issue.
right, but with these guys, that was part of it, because I asked Mark, geez, what if there's a fire? Well, we just take the Santa Claus, because he's one of the firemen, and we take his hat off and put a respirator on him, and he's good to go. I mean, it was that easy.
Well, our Santa is not a fireman, he's the fireman's chaplain,
Hmm.
so he'll stay with us, but the truck might have to go. I was thinking, maybe decorate, putting some lights on the rails, I don't know, let me talk
We
to.
gotta do better promotion of the whole event, cause a lot of people don't know.
They just don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And
I think
so-
doing a sandwich board sign too, maybe
Yeah.
right out there,
Yeah.
just to do one that
And
says.
that could sit
Stop
out
and
there,
see
that could sit
Santa.
out there for a day before or something
Yeah,
like that. That could
Santa's
be a whole
coming on this
promotion.
day at this time.
Right,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
If they were gonna use a fire truck, that's what they did.
Yeah, they bought Santa in the fire truck this year, last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
All right,
was,
thanks for the feedback, guys.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, we're gonna adjourn the meeting at 12:59.
And if anybody wants to help me with this rally,